All right, so let's get into this whole
Okay.
Duolingo owl thing.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much everyone online has seen it unfold.
Right.
But we're going to look at it through
Yeah.
kind of the lens of all the news articles and social media reactions and the marketing experts to figure out, did Duolingo make the right decision here?
Okay.
And what does this even mean for
Mhm.
brands in this, crazy internet age?
It is really fascinating how they
Yeah.
killed off their mascot.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a bold move.
Yeah.
But the way they did it
Yeah.
really, I think, perfectly captured their brand voice.
Yeah.
It was like they hijacked the internet's sense of humor and just rode that wave
Wow.
to success.
For sure.
Yeah.
It was definitely attention grabbing. Do you remember their initial announcement
Oh, yeah.
back on February 11th?
Yeah.
It was so deadpan.
Mm.
Like blaming us, the users,
Right.
for, Duo's demise.
Oh, yeah. You didn't do your lessons.
It's your fault. And then that whole suggestion about, give us your credit card details
Yeah.
for a Duolingo Max subscription in Duo's memory.
Oh, wow.
Hilarious.
Mhm.
But a little morbid, right?
Yeah. A little dark humor there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What I think is interesting is how they just kept adding
Oh, yeah.
to the story.
Yeah.
Like at first it was just they vaguely mentioned enemies.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, bam, Tesla Cybertruck video.
It's so random.
So random.
Yeah.
Like, where did that come from?
Or-
It felt like they were just
Throwing darts.
throwing darts at a board of internet trends.
Yes.
But it worked.
It worked.
Like somehow
Yeah.
they knew exactly what they were doing.
They did.
And they kept that momentum going
Go away.
with things like that coffin plushie,
Oh, yeah.
which you gotta admit, that was
so clever.
pretty clever.
Yeah.
And in one of the videos, they even openly admit to
Yeah.
monetizing grief.
I know.
Self-awareness is what I think really resonated with people.
It does, especially younger audiences.
Yeah.
Who, are so skeptical of like.
Yeah, traditional marketing.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key insight here.
Right.
Duolingo knows
Knows their audience.
their audience.
Yes.
They know that younger generations
Yeah.
value authenticity
Sure.
and transparency.
Mhm.
So by being so open about their motives,
Right.
even the, capitalistic ones,
Yeah.
they came across as
More relatable.
way more relatable.
Yes. Not just some
Yeah.
faceless corporation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let's not forget how brilliantly they used user-generated content.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they encouraged people to create memes and share theories,
right.
like become part of the story.
Mhm.
Remember how Netflix jumped in
Oh, my God.
with the Squid Game reference?
Yeah.
That's marketing gold.
Pure gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where you can see how well they understand
Uh-huh.
internet culture.
Yep.
They knew a simple announcement wouldn't be enough.
Right.
It had to be
Yeah.
something people could participate in
Yeah.
and make their own.
Mm-hmm.
And by inviting others into the conversation,
Yeah.
they turned their marketing campaign into a
Yeah, like a
cultural phenomenon.
cultural phenomenon, exactly.
Yeah.
Even the World Health Organization chimed in,
I know.
ruling out smallpox as the cause of death. Like,
Okay, well-
when do you ever see the WHO
Yeah.
participating in a brand's marketing? It's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
That just shows how effectively Duolingo infiltrated
Yeah.
the online conversation.
Totally.
And this is where things get really interesting from
Yeah.
a marketing perspective.
Okay.
One expert calculated that during the Super Bowl,
Uh-huh.
Duolingo captured 84%
Wow.
of online conversations.
That's more than the Super Bowl ads.
I know.
More than all
Mom.
those multi-million-dollar ads combined.
That's amazing.
They basically hijacked the Super Bowl buzz
Right.
without spending a dime
I know.
on traditional advertising.
Wow.
So how did they do that?
Well, I think it was a combination of things.
Yeah.
First, the timing was perfect.
Yeah.
Launching it right before the Super Bowl
Yeah.
ensured that they would be competing for attention
Right.
during one of the most hyped media events.
Yeah.
Second, their content was just designed to be super shareable and meme-worthy.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
The visual of Duo getting launched by a Cybertruck
Uh-huh.
is instantly meme-worthy.
It is.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's unexpected.
Yeah.
And it taps into those existing internet trends.
So they basically, like,
Gamed the algorithm.
gamed the algorithm.
Yeah.
They knew what kind of content would just spread organically.
Organically.
And then also they were very active
Oh, yeah.
engaging with other brands and individuals online
Right.
to just further amplify their reach.
Totally.
So it wasn't just luck.
It was a very carefully orchestrated strategy
Yes.
to get the maximum impact with
Yeah.
minimal.
Minimal spending on advertising.
Exactly.
So that's a valuable lesson for any brand, right?
Yeah,
Like in today's digital landscape,
absolutely.
you can't just rely on
Right.
traditional advertising.
No,
You have to
it's
understand
right to know.
how to create content
Yes.
that resonates,
Mm-hmm.
that's shareable,
Uh,
that can organically capture attention.
yeah.
Because the internet's always evolving.
Always changing.
All right, so we've established that
Huh.
Duolingo knows how to get people talking.
Yeah, they're good at that.
But did all this buzz actually translate
Good question.
into results?
Right?
Did they actually get more users?
Probably. That's what matters.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have a "How did you hear about us?" survey
Yeah.
when you sign up for the app,
Okay.
so they can actually track the
Ah.
effectiveness of their campaigns.
So they're measuring it.
They're measuring it. Yeah, not just guessing.
Not just like,
Assuming it's working.
oh, we think it's working.
Yeah. And what they found
Yeah.
is that their approach, which they describe as
Oh.
wholesome and unhinged.
Interesting combination.
I know, right? It's like
Yeah.
that mix of positive messaging
Yeah.
and then also being willing to be a little wild.
Yeah.
It works.
It works.
It's really effective
Yeah.
at attracting
They're
their target audience.
That's
It's
it.
like they're not just teaching you a language.
Yeah.
They're inviting you to join their quirky, meme-loving.
meme loving. That's a
Yeah.
great way to put it. They're a personality,
Yeah,
not just a brand.
yeah,
And that's what makes them so appealing.
yeah. Especially
Especially younger people
Yeah.
who want to see brands that, line with their values
Their values.
and their sense of humor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they figured out
They've cracked the code.
how to be relatable in a world where everyone is just bombarded with these marketing messages.
All the time. Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Let's talk a bit more about Duo himself.
Okay.
He was kind of already an internet icon.
He
Was before this whole
Yeah.
death thing, right? People love to both fear and adore
I know.
his relentless notifications
Yep.
and his passive-aggressive reminders. Like,
Yeah.
he embodies that love-hate relationship
Yeah.
that we all have with language learning.
Yes, exactly.
And they leaned into that, right?
They did. They didn't try to
They didn't try to soften him up.
soften his image or make him
Right.
more palatable, make him more,
They embraced
they
the
embraced it.
menacing side,
Yeah.
which ironically made him
More endearing.
even more endearing.
Exactly.
And I love that.
Yeah.
They understood that by embracing those imperfections,
Mhm.
those kind of edgy qualities,
That's what made him so unique and relatable.
Right.
It's like they gave him permission
Yes.
to be himself.
Yeah.
Flaws and all.
Yeah.
And people loved it.
Yeah. They responded to that.
They responded to that authenticity.
Authenticity, yeah.
And they even tied in that whole long-running joke with Dua Lipa. Remember her Till Death Duo part tweet?
It's so good.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like they created this whole meta narrative
Oh.
around Duo's fictional
Yeah.
infatuation with her.
That's great.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
That's just another example of how they're just
Using fandom and pop culture
fandom and pop culture to
Yeah.
connect with their audience.
to connect with their audience. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not afraid to have fun.
Yeah.
To embrace
Love
the
that.
absurdity of the internet.
It's so refreshing.
It is, yeah.
All right, so we've covered the death,
Okay.
the social media frenzy.
Duolingo's overall marketing strategy.
Uh-huh.
Now let's get into the resurrection.
All right.
So on February 24th,
Oh.
they launched this Bring Duo Back to Life challenge,
Okay.
which I thought was another brilliant move
Oh, yeah,
because it kept the momentum going,
it did.
but it also cleverly tied the campaign back to their core product,
Yeah,
the language learning app.
right.
So instead of people just passively watching all this drama unfold,
Yeah.
users were actively participating
Uh-huh.
in bringing Duo back.
Yeah, by completing lessons
Yeah.
and earning XP.
Yeah, they basically gamified
They did.
their marketing campaign.
Yeah.
And it worked.
It worked.
They announced that enough XP had been earned,
Uh-huh.
and they released a video
Yeah.
of Duo looking as fabulous as ever,
Right.
hopping out of a coffin
Oh, of course.
with the caption,
Yeah.
"Legends never die."
I love it.
No.
So good.
And of course, they couldn't resist adding
Yeah.
another layer of humor.
With the line,
Mhm.
y'all really think I'd let a Cybertruck take me out?
Classic Duo.
Classic Duo.
Yeah,
It was the perfect ending
it
to
was.
this masterfully executed
Yeah,
campaign.
it really was.
But of course,
They didn't completely close the loop.
oh no.
They hinted
Right.
that more details
Uh-huh.
about what really happened to Duo
Yeah.
would be revealed soon.
Keep us on the edge of our seats.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They've turned their marketing into
Right.
like
The serialized drama.
serialized drama, yeah, and we're all hooked.
We're all in. I think it's really impressive how
Yeah.
they've managed to turn a language learning app
Right.
into something that's actually entertaining.
I know. It's not just about, memorizing vocabulary anymore. It's
Yeah.
about
It's like being part of a community,
the creation
sharing
stuff.
inside jokes.
Yeah, and feeling like you're
Yeah.
in on something special.
Totally.
They've created a brand. Right.
That people actually want to be a part of.
Exactly. And that's such a shift from traditional marketing,
Yeah.
which was always just about,
Yeah, just broadcasting the message.
just getting it out there.
Yeah.
But Duolingo has flipped the script
They have.
and made their audience
Mhm.
active participants
Yeah.
in their story.
Like with that whole
Yes.
Bring Duo Back to Life challenge,
Exactly.
that wasn't just a marketing ploy.
No, it wasn't.
It was a way to get people using the app.
Using the app, yeah.
They incentivized language learning by tying it to the fate of their mascot.
Exactly, and it worked.
And it totally
Yeah, people weren't just passively consuming content.
Right.
They were actually working to bring Duo back.
Yeah, they felt like they were a part of something bigger.
Yeah.
Like part of a community working towards a goal.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it's like they tapped into that inherent human desire to be part of a story.
And to have some agency
Have some say,
in how that story unfolds.
I know.
And they did all of that
Yeah.
while promoting language learning.
Right, it's a perfect example of aligning your marketing with your company's mission.
Exactly.
I mean, they could have just done a funny ad campaign
Right.
that went viral,
Yeah.
but they went a step further
They did.
and tied it back to their actual product.
And got people using it.
Got people using it, yeah.
So they're not just chasing those likes and shares.
No, they're actually driving meaningful engagement
Meaningful engagement.
with their product.
Yeah. I love that.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to their long-term vision.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just thinking about,
Right.
quarterly earnings.
Mm-hmm.
They're building a sustainable brand
Right.
that people will be loyal to
For years to come.
for years to come. Yeah.
And they're doing it by being unapologetically themselves.
Yes.
They're not trying to fit in to what a language learning app should be.
Should be, yeah.
They're embracing their quirks.
Yeah, their humor.
Yeah. Their willingness to push the boundaries.
I know.
It's so refreshing.
It is.
It's like they're saying,
Yeah.
hey, learning a language can be fun.
Right.
It can be weird.
It can be a little crazy.
Yeah, a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
And people respond to that.
They do.
They're not just selling a product, they're
Yeah.
selling an experience.
An experience, yeah.
A way of life.
Which is much more powerful.
Yeah.
Especially today when people are craving authenticity and connection.
Okay, so we've talked about Duolingo's unique approach to marketing,
Right.
but let's zoom out for a second.
Okay.
What does this whole campaign tell us
Interesting question.
about the future of brand masks?
Well, I don't think it's necessarily about death specifically,
Yeah.
but I do think we're seeing a shift
Okay.
in how brands are using mascots.
How so?
Well, they're not just static figures anymore that just represent a product.
Yeah.
They're becoming more like
Yeah.
characters in a story
Yeah.
with personalities and backstories and,
Yeah.
and even flaws.
They're becoming more human,
And more human.
more relatable.
More relatable.
Yeah.
That makes them way more engaging.
For sure, because people are naturally drawn to stories.
Right.
And if you can create a compelling narrative
Yeah.
around your mascot,
Yeah.
that makes your brand so much more memorable.
It's like they're creating
I know it is.
their own little universes
Yes.
with the mascots as like
Yeah, as the stars.
the stars of the show.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
And the more immersive that universe,
Mm-hmm.
the more invested the audience will be.
Absolutely.
But it's not just about,
Creating any story. Right. Right.
it has to align
It has to align with your brand.
with the brand value.
And it has to resonate with your target audience.
You can't just force a narrative.
You can't force it.
That doesn't feel authentic.
It has to be organic.
Yeah.
It has to be genuine.
Yeah.
It has to be consistent
Consistent with the brand.
with the brand. Yeah.
So it's about finding that
Right. That sweet spot.
sweet spot between creativity
Yeah.
and strategy.
Exactly.
You need to have a great story,
Uh-huh.
but you also need to know
Yeah. How to tell it
how to tell it.
in a way that's going to connect with your audience.
and achieve your goals.
And achieve your goals, yeah.
It's not just about following trends.
Yeah,
it's about setting them.
Setting them, yes.
And that's what Duolingo did.
He did.
They didn't just follow the rules of the internet.
They rewrote them.
Yeah. And they showed that brands can be
successful and entertaining, playful and purposeful.
All at the same time.
Yeah, all at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about the campaign.
Okay.
The impact.
Yeah.
Broader implications for mascot marketing. But let's bring it back down to earth and talk about some of the specific tactics that Duolingo used
What did they do
to make this campaign so successful.
Well, one thing that I noticed was their multi-platform approach.
Okay.
They didn't just rely on one social media platform to tell their story.
Right.
They were strategic about using different platforms for different audiences.
Different audiences and
different goals.
So they weren't just...
Right. They weren't just blasting the same message.
Same message everywhere.
Everywhere.
No, they were tailoring it to each platform and its audience.
Yeah.
Like on Twitter, they focused on those quick updates.
Witty responses.
Yeah.
Engaging with other brands.
Yeah.
It was all about that real-time conversation.
Creating that buzz.
Creating a buzz, yeah.
Yeah, and then on TikTok, they used humor.
Humor music.
And visual storytelling to appeal to that younger, more visually oriented audience.
Exactly.
And then on Instagram, they leveraged the visual appeal.
Of
that platform.
Yeah, to showcase Duo's death and resurrection in a really aesthetic way.
So they were basically creating this multifaceted experience where each piece of content
contributed to the narrative,
to the overall story.
Yeah.
And their timing was perfect.
Yeah.
They knew exactly when to release each piece of content to keep people engaged and to keep the story moving.
It's like they were writing a screenplay.
Yes.
Carefully plotting out each scene.
Exactly.
To build suspense.
And keep the audience hooked.
They knew how to play the internet's attention economy.
They were masters. And they were also really smart about using
user-generated content.
They encouraged people to
share their
memes, theories, reactions. It amplified their reach and made the campaign feel
more participatory.
So participatory.
The collaboration.
Yeah, it's like they turned their audience into co-creators. Which is brilliant for building...
It's a great way to build community.
And fostering a sense of ownership.
Yeah, it's a reminder that the best marketing campaigns aren't just about broadcasting messages. They're about creating conversations, fostering connections, empowering your audience to become part of the story.
And that's what Duolingo did?
That's what they did.
So well with this campaign.
Yeah, they didn't just tell us a story.
Yeah.
They invited us
to join them.
On an adventure. Yeah, and that's something people won't forget. It's kind of amazing how they managed to pull off a campaign that was both hilarious and heartwarming.
Yeah.
They took something that could have been really morbid.
Right.
The whole death of a mascot thing.
Yeah.
And turned it into something so positive.
I know.
And uplifting.
It's like they were saying, hey, even when things are tough, we can still come together, learn new things, and have a little fun.
And have some fun along the way.
Yeah.
I think that message really resonated with people.
For sure.
Especially in a world that can feel so overwhelming and negative sometimes.
Yeah.
Duolingo just offered this moment of levity.
A chance to just connect with others and, laugh about something silly.
Yeah, over this shared experience.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder.
It was.
That brands can be a force for good.
Yeah.
They can actually use their platforms to bring people together and create positive change.
For sure. And they did it all while still staying true to their mission.
To your core mission.
Yeah, making language learning accessible and enjoyable.
For everyone. They didn't have to compromise their values to have this viral moment. They integrated them perfectly.
Seamlessly.
In the campaign.
It's a great example of how to use the power of the internet without sacrificing your integrity. But let's be real. Not every brand can pull off a stunt like this.
Not everyone's Duolingo.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to other companies?
I think the most important thing is to just be genuine.
Okay.
Don't try to force a trend or imitate something that doesn't feel true to your brand. Authenticity.
Yeah, authenticity is key. It needs to feel like it's a natural extension.
It has to be organic and consistent.
With the brand.
With your brand identity.
Yeah. And it's also super important to know your audience.
To really know them.
Yeah, like Duolingo clearly understands what their users are into, what they find funny.
What they care about.
What they'll share.
What they'll share online.
Yeah. They did their research.
They did.
They're not just guessing.
No, they're using data and insights.
To make their decisions.
To guide their decisions.
Yeah, and they're not afraid to experiment.
To experiment,
They're constantly trying new things, pushing boundaries.
Pushing the limits.
Seeing what works.
That's like they're saying, we're not afraid to fail. We're not afraid to look silly. We're just going to go out there and have fun. And that's inspiring.
It's inspiring.
It is.
Yeah, it's a reminder that marketing doesn't have to be,
you
know, all stuffy and corporate.
Yeah.
It can be playful.
Weird.
A little bit crazy.
A little bit crazy, yeah.
And that's what people respond to.
That's what they want.
Yeah. They're so tired.
I know.
The same old boring ads.
Boring ads. They want something different. They want something real. Yeah. Something that makes them feel something.
Yeah. Make them laugh.
Yeah. Make them think.
Makes them think.
Yeah.
And that's what Duolingo did.
That's what they gave them.
They created a brand.
Yeah.
It's not just selling a product.
Right.
They're selling
an experience.
An experience that's both entertaining and educational.
Right. Right.
Silly and meaningful.
It's a powerful combination.
It is.
So to wrap things up.
Yeah.
What are the big takeaways here?
I think the biggest one is that in today's world, authenticity,
and subjectivity,
creativity, and taking risks.
And taking risks are more important than ever.
Absolutely.
Brands need to be willing to be themselves.
To be themselves, yeah.
Connect with their audience.
Connect with their audience, yeah.
Create experiences that are memorable and meaningful.
Memorable and meaningful.
And Duolingo showed us
that
it's possible to do all that and still be successful.
And achieve your business goals.
Yeah.
They've really raised the bar.
They have.
For what's possible in marketing.
And they did it.
Yeah. They did it with a smile.
With a smile.
A wink.
And a wink.
Yeah.
So next time you're scrolling through your social media and you see a brand trying way too hard to be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Just remember Duolingo.
Remember Duolingo.
Remember the owl.
Yeah, the owl who taught us that it's okay to be a little weird.
Yeah.
A little unhinged.
A little unhinged. And a whole lot of fun.
And that the best brands are the ones that make us feel like we're a part of something.
Yeah, a part of something bigger.
Something bigger.
Something special.
Something special.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for listening.
Until next time, keep learning.
Keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
And keep having fun.